homegirls, guess what I heard about these fake MCs who try to spread the word. Oh yeah, I know that line. I heard it too. And here's a little something from us to you.
I'm extremely excited to be here with the beautiful women of JJ Fad. Thanks to all of you guys for your time. I know you're busy and you're going to be going on stage here in a few minutes, so we really appreciate you taking time to talk with us today. I've been a fan of your work forever, since I was a kid, and everybody knows Supersonic, but what people might not know is the real interesting origins of the band, going way back to Rialto, and you all were... Well, a little bit. I talked to some people, we had plenty of time, we were kind of... But just the scene back then, I mean, early, mid to later 80s hip hop, it was such a vibrant scene. And as a female group representing women in hip hop, even more unique back then. I just kind of wanted to ask each of you about kind of what the scene was back then,
It was, we were teenagers, and it was just something that we aspired to do. We always wanted to be, stars. That was, we were always performers. I was a cheerleader all through high school. Okay. Baby D performed at talent shows. Sassy was always wanting to be in the business. So it just was a natural progression for us.
All right, cool.
Ditto.
You can't get off that easy. Tell us something a little unique from your perspective back then. I mean, what was going on in that scene? Again, young women. I've read a lot of stuff about kind of what was going on, at Skateland and it's kind of the early, Ruthless and Arabian Prince and just kind of the vibe back then, man. It always just sounds like such a vibrant time, but maybe we're romanticizing it and looking back. It was really all that good.
No, not at all. Yeah, it really was, especially in the early days. Like, I look back when we were in the studio and being in there with greats like Dr. Dre and Eazy-E and just really, reminiscing on what that was and how. Okay, as part you probably didn't know, Dre is like a perfectionist. There's no such thing as a one take. He was just like, no, say it like this and then do like that. He's very meticulous. So that's the insight.
And that was like when, even sort of almost pre-NW, he came out of World Class Wrecking Crew, right? We all know about that. Even Eminem called him out on that. I have the album with, the Jerry Curl and all that, and I'm a big fan of all those cats, Full Force and Lisa, all that. So he was doing some really unique stuff back then, right?
He was definitely, I don't know how much he likes to endear the Wrecking Crew days, but his history is part of what what made him who he is exactly. So, it was amazing, especially looking back at it and all of us being like a family and, and here we are all these years later still vibing and doing great.
It's a beautiful thing. And Baby D, you were
the baby.
You were the baby.
You don't even have to say much to me. I was the baby. It was fun. All fun and game.
We're just along for the ride, right? Getting corrupted as a youth,
I was only 15 years old, and I was just having fun. Just having fun. It was just so much fun. I can't explain it no other kind of way because that's all I know was we had fun.
Yeah, definitely. Well, another question for you all, again, just as a strong female sort of group out there representing, there weren't a lot of, maybe I'm wrong. What was kind of the female representation in the mix? Did you guys feel alone in that respect?
We didn't really feel alone because Salt and Pepper came out a little bit before us. Okay. So we really wanted to be a part of that because we were so underrepresented as women, and there was only one group out there that was, popular. Yeah. And we were like, we can do this and we can make an impact just like they did. They're from the East Coast. We wanted to be the West Coast female crew, and it really happened that way. Yeah. So what we envisioned actually came true. All right. So it was great.
We did have a few others because you had like Roxanne, Shantae, the real Roxanne. Right. But other female artists, so it was a few out there.
Yeah. Well, I had read too. Well, actually, I have a little surprise for you guys. We mix it up. I knew I was going to be interviewing JJ Fad. I had to prepare a little bit. So I'm a big vinyl head. You can see a lot of records. Got a couple for you to autograph. Okay. But I go to a lot of record conventions. I like to crate dig and find some goodies. And a while back, I came across a record, and I wasn't really familiar with it. And I pulled it out, and I'm like, man, I got to buy this because there's some significance to this. And I wanted to ask the three of you, your opinion on what the value of this album is monetarily. Is it something I should hold on to, sell, throw in the trash? So just want to get your reaction, maybe each of you, to a little something sugar and spice.
That shit's hilarious. You think you're scaring us? We're the real rapper, so stop comparing us to you. You see, Supersonic's through. The fairy tale is over now. What you
Oh, okay.
That's worth less than a penny.
Whoa, okay. Then I got ripped off. Is that what you're saying? All right.
Negative.
All right.
Hilarious.
Let's just.
Oh, really? I don't even
That's-
remember that.
I remember that.
That's what I saw. If Christina can zoom in a little bit. So I saw this album. I was like, it looked old school. You got the guy from the Dream Team hiding back there. I'm not sure what's going on. You got kind of like a Spuds MacKenzie dog right there with glasses. I know you all never really had an animal mascot. You didn't need to stoop to that level.
Right.
But then we have this bam.
Really?
Anti JJ Fad, and it's
You giving them pub right now.
yeah. Are they? Well, I was gonna. That's true. We can cut this out. But I was gonna diss them. Like I don't think y'all. I looked into their back history. They only put out 2 singles. They never put out any full-length stuff like you all. So I'm not sure. I mean, God bless them. I'm not trying to.
No.
But they're not around.
They didn't like us, and we didn't like them. But we didn't know them personally. But they, they came at us because of something that happened with the Dream Team a long time ago. So
Record label beef thing.
Yes,
Okay.
and we came back at them.
And it shouldn't have been that.
I don't
Like,
want
why am I
to. You're gonna
like
wash
doing
your hands after this. Hold it up. Hold it up. I'll toss it. You want to toss it? She tossed it. Hey, you guys are the experts. So tell us what's up with
Yeah, when we end up leaving Dream Team Records, going over to Ruthless, it was not a problem. So I don't know where it came in at. Like, okay, well, let's get you guys a name. So they tried to ride our coattail, But so, we didn't know them, from a can of paint.
But they started it, so we finished it.
Right.
and no doubt, and when you look at the history of beefs in hip hop, right, and especially female hip hop artists, I mean, this has got to be for the museum, one of the first that I can think of in terms of, we're downplaying it now, but in terms of like diss references on records and stuff, I don't know. I mean. But you all, there was a time when like East Coast, I mean Roxanne Shante was representing, and there was kind of an East Coast, West Coast,
Yeah, there
everybody
was.
trying to position themselves, and as females probably more so pressure to get your name out there and break those glass ceilings a little bit,
And
right?
that was just part of the game. That's what it was back in the 80s. It was about who can diss who can make the funnier song, who can talk the most mess about somebody else. It was just part of the game, and that's how you gained your popularity. By doing that, so we just followed suit after that. But I think we only did like 2 or 3 disc records, and after that, we just did our own thing. So,
Right on.
but we had to put our little 2 cents in as well.
Throw some a little bit. Yeah. Well, again, on the positive tip here is real positive, influential female hip hop artists. I'm sure that through the years, and I wanted to ask this question, you've had other female artists come up to you and say, "Yo, when I was young, I heard the JJ Fad, and I, as a female especially, it just resonated with me, and I wanted to go out there and speak my own voice to things." Tell me a little bit about maybe some people that have, or feedback you've gotten about that.
I don't know if somebody like that's relevant. I mean, we just have had
Had fans
different
come up
people.
and say that. We have people that did interviews, people that regular people on the street that have came up to us like, you guys are such an inspiration, and to this day, after I heard this song you guys did, I did this, I did that. So I mean, it's really, really cool when you hear that type of stuff.
A lot of dance groups.
What amazes me the most is that kids that weren't even born when our song came out know our song, and like, oh, we did a cheer to that, or we did a dance to that. Oh, they play that all the time at our competitions, so it's like they weren't, so they know who we are, and they weren't even born when the song came out. That always amazes me. Like, it just goes from generation to generation, so that's kind of awesome.
It's a beautiful legacy.
It's really cool. I love it. I love meeting, especially like our younger fans and people, like she said, kids that weren't even born. Yeah, pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, one last question. I know y'all saw some big name people in the hall there. I won't mention any names, but they were like, "Hey, we better get going." So I know we're on a crunch. But you all have performed at some of the tonight. The old school festival, and also freestyle festivals and stuff like that. For you, what was your kind of take or exposure to like the freestyle scene?
We have always connected with the freestyle scene because of the song Supersonic. It was more of a pop type song. It wasn't just hip hop. It related to the pop audience and the freestyle audience as well. So we've also always been kind of connected. And then when we resurged to do these old school shows, they kind of lumped us into the freestyle shows. And it fits because that's kind of where our song is, that's where it belongs. But it also can fit into hip hop. So it's kind of neat because we got the best of both worlds. We can do hip hop shows, we can do freestyle shows, we can do pop shows. So it's really kind of cool for us.
Yeah, any sort of fest you guys should get invited to because you're so diverse. Yeah. Well, how about you in terms of the freestyle freestyle, memories of the scene or what that movement was back in the day.
I love our freestyle shows. You know, with CVB, Trinier, Debbie Deb, she's our girl. You know,
I met Debbie. She's awesome. Yeah.
she is our expose. I mean, we just have so many friends that we've met, and it's amazing. Just the whole energy of the shows, we love it. You know, it's been really good.
Yeah. What was back in sort of the '80s? You know, when you all were coming up and in school and whatnot. I mean, were you listening to some early club, 12-inch mixes? I mean, what kind of stuff were you spinning back then? Was some of it freestyle, or was it just pure hip hop? Right.
Hip hop head. I loved hip hop because I loved Public Enemy. I was like, I was big hip hop.
All right. Egyptian Lover. I mean, representing the West Coast coming up and everything.
Yeah, we love that, and we love the fast-paced music too. So because it was like similar to ours, so it was kind of cool.
Well, I guess that's it for us. Unless you had anything, again, exciting things. You're out there interacting with fans, folks that want to stay connected to JJ Fad. There's a lot of ways through social media. We'll have the links up.
Sure.
So if anybody's doing a fest and they want to have these wonderful ladies there, there's a lot of ways to call all of us. Not me. I'm not in the mix. Am I your new agent, please? Okay, sweet. I'm like the new, I was gonna make a Ruthless Records analogy, but no, we're not gonna go there. So, all right, well, thank you all so much, and
We're JJ Fad and we're here to rock. Rocks like us could never be stopped. Here's three of us and I know we're French. Party rock non-steppers and our names are Tennessee, James or Chubb. Another book to me. And if it's all fresh, A-N-T death. Behind the turntables is Arabian Prince. Mixing and scratching is the name of the game. Now here's a little something about nosy people.